From Seminole Hard Rock in Hollywood, Florida, this is Poker Night in America. Hello and welcome to Poker Night in America. I'm Chris Hansen alongside Joe Stapleton. We are at Hard Rock in Hollywood, Florida.
Now, Chris,
Yeah.
if the Seminole Hard Rock was the Hard Rock Hard, which Hard Rock would it rock?
Well, definitely not talc, and it's still probably harder than fluorite, so...
It's frickin' diamond, Chris. It's diamond. That was like a $200 Jeopardy clue.
Well, I'll take chip counts for 550,000, please, Alex, which is how much money is up for grabs on the table tonight. After one night of play, Avi Freedman and Shaun Deeb are our big winners thus far. Doug Polk is down, as is the player known as GI.
All right, let her rip. I'm trying out new ways to say let's head over to the table.
It's a hard no on that one.
The West Coast is just so much better. I just don't really know why people would live over here.
Might be the first time I've ever agreed with Doug Polk.
Oh, sorry, there are people here from.
Yeah.
Oh. Awkward.
So the stakes are a bit higher here tonight on Poker Night in America. Usually a nice, friendly 25-50 game. Now we've got a nice and friendly, super juicy 100-200
Typically
game.
don't make it to either coast. I got Memphis and Vegas.
I like to visit here, but like, man.
See, I can't decide which coast I want to live on, so I just live in North Dakota.
Where were you raised?
It's right in the middle. It's nice.
Hey, Pocket Kings to start things off for Shaun Deeb.
But ain't there so many like fake people out west?
Yeah, for sure. But, well, the first thing is like the weather is like
39.
the best, basically.
And if you're wondering, no, we didn't forget some letters. He simply goes by GI.
There are places in the east with
Don't
income
ask.
tax like Florida, so that's pretty cool. But
Doug prefers the West Coast because on the East Coast he'd probably get beat up a lot more.
Fake people on the west. You mean guys who like start a YouTube channel like trying to promote themselves, like that kind of stuff.
is that really fake to do that? I think you had better zingers before.
Pocket King's still the best hand after this flop.
Time to play poker because he's running his business.
4,500 the bet from Deeb.
More lieutenants.
Well, that would make sense with the way you've been playing today.
Kane's in here like throwing punches. Are you seeing this?
I'm hearing
What
it.
happened to Kane?
I'm like thinking I need a seat.
Don't do it,
Did
GI.
he have like an extra coffee today or something?
He was a quiet kid. He's going off.
He's like in the booth,
He's not
just like
listening,
tilting his face
and he's
off.
raising to 12,000.
Damn.
Shaun's never folding.
Yeah, it is strong.
Tough crowd today. This is just such a huge raise. If you had a monster here, you wouldn't want to scare anyone off. This is at best going to be two pair.
And a call from Deeb.
This summer in Philly was not good.
No,
And our AC broke too, and
It
you know,
does.
Yeah, it
but
gets
I
muggy.
tell people,
yeah.
Turn is an ace, which is great news for GI.
There's always that. I thought GI was going to have to bluff the turn. I forgot. He could just make top
Is
pair.
horrible.
I know, I agree.
You gotta get
and-
gyms.
And I'm not. Yes, I agree.
Gyms is
Gyms.
the best.
you're from that area too,
or
12K the bet.
in the Borgata and in the airport in Terminal F in Philly.
What is it?
They've got Tony Luke's.
Tony Luke.
I
See, I,
really
don't like Tony Luke's.
No?
The one
This
in the
ace is
stadium.
not going to look as bad to Shaun on the turn as a straight card or a club.
If it's the same place, but Jim's is the best by far for me.
I like gyms.
Did you know it's illegal to talk about Philly without bringing up cheesesteaks?
Yeah.
All right, so there's a call from Deeb.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
That's the best roast beef I ever had in my life.
I thought for sure some trolling was going to happen there. Just like,
$55,000 in the middle.
I hope you like roast beef.
What? The one in Copper?
Another 8 on the river.
But the one on South Street. They used the name, but it wasn't the same
When I was growing up, we
company.
used to go to the Orleans, and we used to go
Comparing Jim's to Orleans is like comparing Gritty to the Philly Fanatic. It's a no-brainer.
out. Oh wow.
Actually, I have no idea what that means. I just Googled the two smartest people in Philadelphia.
We go check on the river, and GI gonna pick up the pot.
Wait, you should have waited a little longer. That was a little too quick.
I would have been kind of embarrassed to show that hand, actually. That is a really dirty way to win a hand.
it checked around on the flop.
All right, this hand starts with Shaun Deeb and a fold.
No, I'm talking to him.
Oh.
Nice battle versus Steve. I'm glad Kane's here to be on my side.
I don't think Kane's in your side. He's just not attacking you. It's different.
He just knows that you're an easier target than me.
Oh, nothing doing all the way up until the big blind here with Doug Polk. And he calls, and a earth-shattering $1,300 now in the middle. I have a feeling it's gonna get bigger.
Well, Doug has Avi dominated.
That was the flop I was looking for.
Yeah, it's the flop Doug was looking for too, Frank. How does Doug Polk do it? He gets dudes to fire into him, drawing totally dead. Well, almost totally.
Doug wanted more money in the middle, and he got it. Freedman calls the raise.
It just doesn't look like that bad of a flop for Freedman. And after raising the flop, Doug should be continuing his aggression here. Freedman picking up calling chips already. Doug bets 6,200 and gets to insta-call from Freedman, who now is literally drawing dead to a win.
Order some Count Polk. Could we make that happen?
Jack will chop it.
There wasn't enough food for you?
6% chance of that happening. And rivering a flush draw is still no good in this game, no matter how many letters I write to the president of poker. It should count for something.
Oh, well, that's a rather sizable amount. That's $34,600.
So there was about 20K in this pot. Doug's trying to act like he's trying to buy this. I think Freedman gets away from this, you know, like a freed man.
Nice hand.
Yes.
Don't go anywhere. We are just getting started.
Chris, you don't have to tell them not to go anywhere. It sounds needy. Plus, where would they even go? We're playing 100, 200 with a straddle. This is must-see poker TV.
Welcome back to Seminole Hard Rock in Hollywood, Florida.
Y'all want to see some bad beats? You sickos love this stuff. Doug's still stacking chips through the commercial break. What a boss. You know, I recently played poker and I realized that I didn't know how to stack chips because I'd never won a pot that big before. I was like, what? How do I do this? Kept knocking them over. It was weird.
Were you using both hands or just one?
Both hands. It didn't last long, though.
Just a mess.
I just started paying people out of my pile. All right, Kane Kalas playing his first hand of the night. Kane recently played in the biggest televised cash game pot of all time. Pocket fives for Kane. Uh-oh, Shaun Deeb is in with jacks.
Here comes GI. Figuring, you know, as long as I'm here, I might as well call.
GI with queen high. Oh, a cheeky
boy.
little five hiding in there.
Deeb checking to see if anybody is interested in this flop.
And GI is with his gut shot and backdoor spade draw. Kind of a scary board for middle set. And GI getting very optimistic with the lead out semi-bluff here. And I think Kane's gonna put in a raise. So there's a lot of hands you can get value from, a lot to protect against.
Kalas does raise it to 12,000.
And I think that's an easy fold for Shaun now, yep. It should be an easy hand for GI to fold, that is.
No, I only had the nuts, Frank. I just had the dry nuts, if you will.
I had a feeling that you got lucky on the dark jack there.
Well, I definitely got lucky in the dark jack.
But it's 8,600 to call. He's getting better than 2 to 1.
Sometimes you get lucky in the dark bet.
You do that. Actually, it seems to happen almost the same amount.
Some decent turn cards for him. I still think it's a fold, but I'm just trying to figure out a reason why he's gonna call. Because he's clearly going to call. Oh, geez, GI did not call. He raised
24.
24,000.
24 even.
And GI just keeps blasting off in spots where it's really difficult for his opponent to fold. Again, if you have a set of fives beat here, would you really give Kane such a good reason to fold?
Hey everyone, just a quick reminder that we're running a contest through April in our app to win a seat on our show. One lucky winner gets to join us in Pittsburgh on May 20th at the Rivers Casino. So drop what you're doing, download the app, and register for your chance to win today. Kalas calls. So 53,000 in the pot as we're heads up with these two to the turn.
Oh my
boy.
GI.
Oh boy.
For the second time in a row, GI blasts off with a pretty much air ball and hits gin on the turn.
And then just jams it in, all of it, 71K.
This is chump change for Kane Kalas, only 6 figures. GI was telling a story on the flop. No matter how unconvincingly, at that point, it is way too easy for that story to be true now. Kane Kalas has just got to figure out if he wants to wager $50,000 on needing the board to pair, or possibly he's already drawing to 1 out. He did it. He made the call. Nearly 200K in the middle.
Once or twice.
Run it 1 time,
One time.
Well, you put your
says
cards in.
GI.
All right, winner is going to take all on the river.
Run it 1 time. What a GI. No boat for Kane Kalas, both literally and figuratively. He just lost the amount it would cost to buy a fairly nice boat.
So GI easily wins the biggest pot of the night so far.
Oh, I do no work for any of them. Yes.
That makes sense.
My wife is taking control of at
I had
least
a
one
bunch
of
friends
them.
a few years ago who were like, you know, it's really cool you can do all these things, but maybe you should pick one thing and focus on that.
That's why I play poker.
Yes.
I'll let her do all the other stuff.
He's pretty good playing poker.
She's more of a people person than me anyway, so it's a lot better on phone calls.
Pocket 4s for Deeb, 5s for GI, and aces. That's
Thank you.
convenient for Kane Kalas.
And good thing he just reloaded for 100 grand. Let this be a lesson to you.
3,500.
I don't know who I'm talking to specifically, but
Timer, right? It's a different number than like the last.
So is all of that food Kane's? Because I would love a breadstick.
if you just lost a 200K pot, don't you think you'd eat your feelings?
Good point. All that pasta doesn't stand a chance.
Bring me all of the carbs in the building, please. Thank you.
Is that what you got?
Well, we got 1 call from Deeb. No way GI is not calling here. So 3 players with 10K in the pot as we head to the flop.
So Kane is going to look a little tilty here. He should get plenty of action. Can he fade both sets?
Oh my gosh.
No, he did not fade both sets, but best case scenario is that GI hit one and so did he.
And GI just took that huge pot off of Kalas, so he's all loaded up with money.
Sets and sets and sets today. And by the way, this is the second time it's been set over set for GI.
That was amazing.
Both times he's on the business end. Is the business end the good end or the bad end?
That would be the bad end.
Okay, the business end.
Onions on the side and the broccoli.
Anyway, the bet's 5,500. If you lose a 200K pot, you should get a free steak. I'm just saying that now.
I feel like G should
Kane
date
smooth
this thing
calls,
now.
Deeb folds the pair.
Yeah, new rule. If food comes to the table, G gets your food too.
We need to order right, though, so we have time for dinner.
Turn is a 10 of diamonds.
The way they should service, you better order a 4 for 7.
Exactly.
Kane's checking, wants to let GI keep firing. Kane really does not have much to be scared of. There's a diamond draw out there now. Some straight draws. You really don't expect GI to have any of that. GI bets 10,000 into just over 20. I think Kane might just smooth call again. There aren't a lot of rivers he's gonna hate.
Yeah, appreciate it. NFL.
Somebody said Jacksonville doesn't actually
Call
have
from Kalas.
They do, but
was
they were,
Shaun.
they were trolling.
He said they have a college team.
a college team that
Frank.
dresses like an NFL.
Frank is surprisingly gold.
Kalas checks again.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
mean, looking at his outfit,
River's the full house. Kane is playing this perfectly. Somehow he knows GI is gonna bet this river and not just check behind. And not only is GI gonna bet this river, but he's probably gonna commit himself too.
12,000 to bet from GI.
And I believe Kane's got one move here, and that is to move all in for at least as much as GI's got behind.
Yeah, and a good portion of GI's stack just came from Kane on the hand previous.
I'm all in.
And he wants it back. He's all in for 67K. And if you're GI, you have to be thinking, okay, what exactly have I stepped into here?
Could I possibly have been set over setted twice in one day? And the answer, of course, is yes.
Oh boy.
GI calls, and Kane Kalas is going to win back much of what he lost on that previous hand.
Well, getting beat like that is bad on the GI tract, if you know what I mean.
Much.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, but that was an awesome segment.
I just have one question. Where do we get our Emmy?
Welcome back to Seminole Hard Rock in Hollywood, Florida, where Doug Polk is straddling for 400. The stakes are up tonight on Poker Night in America at Seminole Hard Rock. Blinds are 100 and 200. That means Doug Polk there for the optional straddle under the gun is at 400.
God, if Kelmuth wins, we will never hear the end of it. Never.
You never.
Well, don't let that
when
happen.
he loses, you never hear the end of it.
Yeah,
it's
but
like a Trump interview.
But the thing is, you never.
I played great.
You never
Kelmuth
hear the end
does
of it
sound
when
a
you
lot
lose
like
it,
Trump
and
sometimes.
I run so bad kind of way. That's whatever. But in the I knew I was the best. I don't know if I could take that.
You know, he still brings up the Dur hand. He's like, you know, I played Tom and obviously I trapped him with aces. It's head.
Oh God.
So like, if you put a beat on him, he's just gonna always say I outplayed you.
We got 4 players who are all going to see the flop.
Doug called with some junk to protect his straddle, or did he call with his straddle to protect his junk? I don't know, whichever way you want to look at it.
Flop is ace high.
Checks around, interesting. Freedman with the up and down draw now pairs is 5. Doug also up and down now, as well as GI.
I haven't seen this much up and down since I went to the elevator convention.
Nice
Hi-yo.
one. What
Thank
floor was it
you,
on?
Thank you. 13, obviously.
Doug bets. And only Freedman calls.
And let's see the river. A king on the river does no good for Doug Polk. It'll be interesting to see if maybe Doug Polk will take that king as an advantage card to try to bluff.
Yeah, this is where Doug's gonna outplay most amateurs. And he's made a full pot size bet. Avi Freedman's got the best hand, but it's bottom pair.
And just like that,
No,
Doug Polk picks up the $24,000 pot with the full-on bluff.
See, Kentucky will be there bearing socks.
It's an amazing headline.
How many
Network people
I don't know how
are
to say
like-
this, but how many views did that article get? Kentucky
How many
socks
retweets?
can't be like a big thing. I feel like.
Their currency.
What would you know about socks, Doug? You're clearly way behind the game.
Why can't we live in a world where there's more to life than just page views?
I'm sorry, I was just checking to see how many followers I had. What did you say?
Yeah, right.
I think you got more followers than Kentucky does for now. So.
You know, I can't get verified on Instagram.
Doug is like the Kim Kardashian of the poker world.
It's really bothering me. I get denied every month.
He's like sitting there refreshing, like, oh, how many views do I have? How many followers do I have?
It burns.
And just another set on this flop.
Holy cow.
Top set for Doug Polk now, the case 9. Doug checks it. Maybe looking to get a flop check raise in.
Well, he's thinking there's 5 players here. Someone's got to bet this, right? No one's going to check it around. And sure enough, Shaun Deeb is his huckleberry. He gets Freeman involved with his 10s.
Freedman might end up being the blueberry. 10s are in bad shape here. We know him and Doug have history. I think when it goes bet and call with this board texture, Doug has to raise. And raise he does, 8,500. Apparently Shaun's got 5% equity in this hand. I don't even know how. Running diamonds? Yeesh. Guess running queens also. Still not a spot I want to be in. I think Shaun might actually get away. When it goes bet, call, raise, 9s, no spade, decent kicker is going to be behind a lot. And a good fold by 10s.
And Polk wins again.
Night bluff.
From Huckleberry and Blueberry to Noberry to Booberry,
second try.
because Doug just got ghosted.
Wait, what's going on with the blinds now? Oh wait,
1-2, just like normal every other hand.
it's late.
Freeman with Queen 10 limps.
It is. I called my own.
Wait a minute, who's this guy in the 1 seat? Has he been here the whole time?
Mind.
Andrew Micali finally playing a hand. They call him Dew because he loves Mountain Dew.
Much beer on poker.
I know, I'm just as confused as you are.
Many sessions on this show.
They won't.
So Kalas makes it 1,100 with Ace King, and we're now waiting on Doug Polk. He wants to play with Ace Queen. GI out, Freedman in. This guy who apparently has been playing the entire time calls out a seat 1.
His Mountain Dew is finally kicking in.
And look at this. I mean, just come on now. You play one hand in like a day and a half and you flop a set? That's not right.
Another set tonight on Poker Night in America, while 2 other players make very good top pairs. Gotta be good to beat Micali right now.
2,800 was the bet from Kane Kalas.
No shot Doug folds at this point. Freedman's out. Micali quickly calls. I would have been most tempted to raise, especially because of the moistness of this board.
Ooh, the turn's a queen of hearts. So if you are Micali, you got a little bit of a sweat going here.
Yeah, that heart is the exact reason why I probably would have considered raising the flop. Now, there's such a thing as bluffing with the best hand. Right now, Doug Polk is about to value bet with the worst hand.
He's got Micali thinking.
I'd be tempted to get away from this, especially if I call here and another heart hits the river. I'd almost certainly fold then. So my options are to either fold now or just get it in, which is, again, I think you're in a bad spot because you're going to either fold out worse hands or get called by better.
Oh, wow.
You have got to be setting me. Do Micali, who folds sets before the river? Ah, I feel so unfulfilled.
Well, Joseph, if you're seeking some closure, we're going to be counting the final stacks right after this commercial break.
Yeah, I feel better now.
Welcome back to Poker Nights in America at Seminole Hard Rock here in Hollywood, Florida, where the table has called it a wrap after a session of cooler after cooler after bad beat after bad beat.
When all was said and done, our big winner was GI, who takes home an additional $48,000. Shaun Deeb, Micali, and Avi Freedman leave with some bacon as well. As for the rest of our gang, they leave a little lighter. Doug Polk and Frank Kasella finished down $11,000, Kane Kalas down $21,000, and blink and you'll miss him, Vito Recamurzo busted earlier in the session for his entire $50K buy-in.
Now make sure you tune in next time because we're keeping the stakes just as high, and ooh, Doug Polk is gonna buy in for $200,000.
Hey, quit writing mean stuff in the comments, guys. I'm just kidding. Everything you write helps us. It's called engagement. Go to town. Also, like and subscribe, but you'll write the mean stuff too. It's all good.